So we had been working with adding and subtracting or combining, and now we're going to go to multiplication. So there's a couple different types of multiplication, but first we'll talk about the property. So the product property of roots says this: if you have the nth root of A times the nth root of B, that's supposed to be a multiplication sign, then you can just multiply the radicands. So it equals, let me make an equal sign. It equals the nth root of AB. Now notice that they're both nth roots, so your index has to match. In order for you to apply that property. Okay? All right, so the first problem they give us is a little bit different, but it's all multiplication. It's 3 times the square root of 2, 2 times the square root of 30. So what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange things. We're going to take the 3 times the 2. You know what? They use so many of the same numbers. Let me use some different colors to see if that helps. We're going to put the 3 and the 2 together. So it's going to be the 3 times the 2, and then the radical part, we'll multiply that together. So it's going to be the square root of 2 times the square root of 30. Now, you don't have to write that out, but that's the thinking, okay? We have the properties of multiplication, we have the properties of the commutative property and the associative property, so we can move stuff around like that. So then I'm going to have 6, and then the radical part, that's what we just learned. That's going to be the square root of 60. Now, you don't have to write the square root of 60 if you don't want to. You could have made it, you could have said 2 times 30, because what you're going to do is you're going to break this down anyway. You're going to have to simplify it. So 30 is 6 times 5, and 6 is 2 times 3. So I'm going to have a 2 that's going to come out. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, at this point you could say, I have the 6 out front, and then the square root of 4 times 15, because I can take the square root of 4. Okay, so the 6 is still in the front, but now the 4, this part, is going to come out as a 2, and then I'll have left the square root of 15. So final answer is going to be 12. It's going to be 12 times the square root of 15. That would be the final answer. Okay? All right, so now we have another one. We're going to multiply the 2 and the negative 3. That's going to give us negative 6. And then we're going to have the cubed root of 18 times 6. Now, I don't really want to multiply 18 times 6, you know. I don't want to. I'll write it 18 times 6. Oops, I was going to do that in a different color so you could see where it came from. But it's right here, that 18 and that 6. So 18 times 6. Now you might say, well, why don't you want to multiply it out? Because I need to break it down anyway. So I want to use the smaller numbers. It'll help me. 18 is 6 times 3, right? So that 18 became the 3 times 6, and then there's the 6. I didn't break everything down into its primes, but I got a pair of 6's, so those 6's are going to come out. So then I have the 6 that was out, the negative 6 that was out, the 6 that's come, oops, my color coordinating, trying to make it easier for you to see which 6 is which. That just came out, and then you've got the cubed root of 3 left. So that pair of 6's becomes 1 6 on the outside. All right, now we just have to make it look nice. Negative 36 times the cubed root of 3. Okay, are there just 2? Yep.